Welcome to the Moving Up to Secondary School September 2023 presentation. Delayed this year, but there could be changes to testing arrangements if any COVID-19 requirements are reinstated. This presentation explains the usual processes, which will be kept to wherever possible. Any changes to the processes due to COVID-19 requirements will be published on the Buckinghamshire Grammar School's website, and if necessary, we will write to parents. In this presentation, we have included two main sections. Firstly, the application and offer process, and the second section is all about the secondary transfer test. We have also included more information on our website and about how to contact the admissions team. The application and offer processes. The most important thing we can tell you in this whole presentation is that you should make your application on time by midnight on the 31st of October, as this is the national deadline for expressing your school place application. If you miss this deadline, it is less likely that you will be offered a place at your preferred school. If you live in Buckinghamshire, you should visit our website between the 10th of September and the 31st of October 2022. And if you live elsewhere, you should apply to your home local authority's website. All you need is an email address to make your application. Applying online is easy. You can apply on your phone, your iPad or a laptop. We do suggest you make a note of which email account you have used and the password that you have set up for the application portal. Use an email address that you know you can access even if you're not in work. If you start but don't complete an application, you will be reminded if an application has not been submitted. You can accept the place online, where you will see the outcome of all your school preferences in one place. When you make an application, you can list up to 6 schools. You can include grammar schools, upper schools, all ability schools, and out-of-county schools. You should put the schools in the order you prefer them, so consider the order of your preferences carefully. We recommend you include a local catchment school that you have a good chance of being offered. Think about whether your child needs to sit a test to be considered for a place at the school. Check the school's admission rules and work out whether your child is likely to be offered a place. Also check whether you need to fill in a supplementary form for the school and whether or not you live in catchment. You can check this on the Buckinghamshire Council website. Think about how your child will get to school. You will need to check how the home to school transport rules apply in your case. You can check on our website to find your nearest school for transport purposes and whether or not you are entitled to free school transport. The offer process. Firstly, local authorities will share information with each other. Each school preference is managed separately and schools are not told where they're placed on the preference list by each parent. All admission authorities apply their admission rules to all of the children with a preference for their school, and they sort the children into a ranked order, and then the schools tell the ranked order to their council. Grammar school preferences will only be offered to qualified pupils, that is, children who scored 121 or more in the test or were successful at selection review. Where a child can be offered more than one school place, the higher ranked preference school is offered and the lower preference school is declined. The vacant place created is offered to another child. Children who cannot be offered any of their preferences are then offered a place at the nearest school with vacant places remaining. On National Offer Day, the 1st of March 2023, online applicants will be sent offer emails. And once you've received the email, you can log on to the portal and accept the school place. Postal applicants will have their offer letters emailed or posted. We will automatically add you to the waiting list for your higher preferences that you could not be offered, but for which your child is qualified. From National Offer Day, you can register for an appeal. You will have 14 days to accept the school place offered. After National Offer Day, you can appeal for any school that you have been refused. This includes where your preferences are grammar schools and your child has not qualified. We will automatically add your child to the waiting list for any school on your application above the school that we have offered. So if you are happy with the school place offered and no longer want a higher preference, then you need to let us know so that we can take your child off the waiting list. Appeals are heard by panels of 3 people who are independent of the local authority. They are unpaid volunteers and they have no connection with the school or the local authority. You can put your case in person, but it can also be held in your absence if you prefer. This year, for the first time, appeals are being held online via Teams. So to summarise, you should make your application by midnight on the 31st of October 2022. You apply online on your home local authority's website. You should list your schools in true preference order, including grammar and upper schools. Think about how your child is going to get to school and include realistic catchment or local schools in your list. Make sure you understand the admission rules. Do your homework and don't rely on the opinion of others. The secondary transfer test. The secondary transfer test is a test to determine whether or not a child is suited to a Buckinghamshire grammar school. The test is produced by GL Assessment, and the Buckinghamshire Council undertakes the administration of the test arrangements on behalf of the 13 grammar schools. You can find information about the test on the Buckinghamshire Grammar Schools website and on the Buckinghamshire Council website. This is the testing timeline. Firstly, a familiarisation booklet will be posted on the 7th of July to your home address if you are in a Buckinghamshire local authority school. These booklets are also available online to download, and you can do that if your child attends a partner school or out-county school. The practice test is scheduled to be held on the 13th of September, and the transfer test is scheduled to be held on the 15th of September. The results will be released on the 14th of October, and the application deadline is midnight on the 31st of October. School places are offered on the 1st of March, and children will start secondary school in September 2023. We expect the test to take place in September as planned. However, if there is any further resurgence of COVID-19, the test arrangements will be modified to take account of any guidance from the government, should any changes be reintroduced. The normal process is that children will sit the practice test 2 days before the transfer test, and if any changes are proposed to these arrangements, they will be published on the TBGS website. Children don't have to sit the secondary transfer test. Think carefully about whether sitting the test is going to be a positive experience for your child, and discuss this with your child's head teacher. The secondary transfer test measures 3 things: verbal skills, which includes English and verbal reasoning; mathematical skills, including various areas of mathematics; and non-verbal skills, such as non-verbal and spatial reasoning. The familiarisation booklet, which is available either by post on the 7th of July or online for download, explains what the questions are like, how the test papers and answer sheets are set out, and how the answer sheet should be completed. It includes example questions and gives you the answers to them. The familiarisation booklet will not be looked at in school. There is also further familiarisation material available on the GL Assessment website. On the test days, the children will sit 2 papers with a 15-minute break in between them. Each paper is approximately an hour long, including the instructions, but the practice test is a little shorter. The test is run by a CD or MP3, which gives worked examples and test instructions and is listened to by the children as they work through the test paper. Paper A is the verbal skills test, and this is taken first. Paper B includes both the mathematical and non-verbal skills section, and that's taken second. Although the children sit the practice test, this isn't marked and we don't provide a marking key for it. If a child is unwell on either the practice or transfer test day, They can sit the test later. We really strongly recommend that children do not sit the test when unwell, even though they may want to. Children should always sit the practice test first, and you will always be given advance notice of the test dates before your child sits the test if they sit the test at another time. If you think something has affected your child's performance in the test, then let your head teacher know on the test day, and also collect evidence, for example, a doctor's letter. Once you have the test results, then talk to your child's head teacher about whether the result is what either you or they expected. There are special arrangements that can be put in place for children, particularly for children with SEND, so discuss with your child's head teacher if you feel that there needs to be adjustments made to the test for your child. An application needs to be completed as soon as possible. Details and decisions about special arrangements are made by a panel of experts in SEND, primary teaching, and an educational psychologist, and their decision will be notified to you before your child sits the test. Primary schools that undertake testing on behalf of the grammar schools are asked not to tutor or coach the children in their school prior to the test, over and above enabling the child to follow the national curriculum relevant for their age. The secondary transfer test is designed to enable all children to demonstrate their academic ability without the needs for excessive preparation. Once the children have completed the test, the answer sheets are sent to GL Assessment, who mark the test. 1 mark is given for each correct answer, and marks are not deducted for incorrect answers. Each child will be given 3 different raw scores for verbal skills, for mathematical skills, and for non-verbal skills. These 3 raw scores are then age standardized and weighted to produce the secondary transfer test score. The secondary transfer test score is made up of 50% of the verbal score, 25% of the mathematics score, and 25% of the non-verbal score. The qualifying score is a minimum score of 121, and children achieve scores ranging between 60 and 170 approximately. The results will be provided to parents on the 14th of October. They will be sent to parents by email. If your child attends a Buckinghamshire State School and takes the test, we will write to you and send you a code. You will then need to log in to an online form and provide your email address, and to do this you will need the code that we provided to you. This ensures we have a current email address for the results email to be sent to. If your child attends a partner school or has sat the test at a grammar school test centre, then we will send the results to the email you used to register for the test. Last year, 37% of children scored 121 or more in the entry test. If your child is not qualified in the test and you think a grammar school would be an appropriate school for them, you can ask either for a selection review or you can just appeal. The selection review panel can decide if a child is qualified, and a qualification at selection review is a qualification for any grammar school, which will all be considered when we make the allocation for the 1st of March. The grammar schools recognise there may be circumstances that have impacted on a child's performance in the test, and so at the selection review, each child's situation is considered individually, and the selection review panel looks for evidence of both consistent educational ability and factors that may have affected the child's performance in the transfer test. The selection review panels sit during December to January. They consist of 3 head teachers, 2 grammar school head teachers and 1 primary school head teacher, and their decisions are included in the 1st of March allocation. The decision of the selection review panel applies to all grammar schools at the end of the process, and following selection reviews last year, 35.66% of the review cases qualified for grammar school. When a case that has been to selection review is considered at the independent appeals panel, parents will need to show that in their child's case, the selection review panel decision was not fair, consistent and objective, and it's only if they are successful that they can then put their full academic case to the independent appeals panel. If a child is qualified at appeal, the qualification is for the particular school only that the parent was appealing for. The appeal process will happen in the summer term. You can go to appeal without having undertaken a selection review. The appeal is again heard after the 1st of March, at which point most schools will already be full. In the appeal, you will have to prove academic potential and give reasons why you believe a place should be offered to your child above the planned admission number. If you would like more information, it's available in a number of places. Firstly, the Moving Up to Secondary School leaflets that your head teacher can forward to you summarises the whole process. You should also look at schools' websites, particularly those schools that may have slightly different admission rules. You can look at the Buckinghamshire Grammar School's website and can research the schools by attending their open events. The dates are available on the council website. After August 2022, the full 2023 application information will be available on the Buckinghamshire Council website at buckinghamshire.gov.uk. If you need to contact the admissions team, then fill in the Contact Us form on the Buckinghamshire website. Here we've given you the web address of both the Buckinghamshire website and our Contact Us form on that website. Thank you for listening to the Moving Up to Secondary School presentation. Goodbye.